It's been a while since I've done a news related video, and it's July 1st, so I thought, let's dig into it. It's been a minute. What's up, cookies? Welcome back. And if you're new here, my name is Carolyn Gray. We like to kiki on this channel. We talk about all things in and around fashion. And sometimes I show you my lifestyle living in New York as an entrepreneur and just trying to figure out my life as an adult, even though I might question if I'm an adult sometimes. Anyway, welcome. And if you are not new here, what's up, cookie? Welcome back. Anyway, I want to talk about some things that have been in the news, circling in the news regarding the fashion industry. Duh, obviously. I don't really like to get into a lot of political debates and things like that. There's a lot of things going on about black jobs and, slowness to enter and all this other. I don't want to talk about that, okay? We'll leave it for Black Twitter and us figure out later on this year when we have to vote and figure out what party is. I don't even know anymore. Let's get into the fashion of it all before the hounds come out in the dog park and start barking up a storm and making my sound an issue. I'm going to read off my teleprompter here, but it's not really like a teleprompter. Okay, my notes. 2024 report highlights that geopolitical instability, economic volatility, and inflation are top concerns for fashion executives. The industry faces an uncertain future with varied expectations on growth across many regions. So this it dives into a couple of different areas. It's a lot of things going on. The instability of the political climate, recessions all over the place, the strength or lack thereof of the US dollar and all the other countries. It has an impact on all the industries. Any industry that makes money, it's going to be impacted. And there's been a response from the fashion industry that I think is really interesting to see how they're going to navigate getting through these unprecedented times. Number one, climate urgency drives brands to really hike up their sustainability efforts. Number one. Everything going on, the extreme weather events, it's making people address the need to be sustainable, eco-friendly, ethically on point, morale on point. There are so many brands that are trying to focus on mitigating long-term risks due to the current climate, political-wise, climate-wise, and financially post-COVID. During COVID, we were all getting monies. We was getting monies, okay? That was the one good thing that was happening really at that time. And if you were smart, I wasn't. You would save your money and do some investments or something with it. But other than that, most of us was shopping. We was shopping up a storm. Yes, we were. So much that we don't even need to shop at this point. And the fashion industry is seeing and feeling that. They are realizing they're not shopping. Oh my God. It's because they don't get those stipends anymore. Oh, wait a minute now. Yeah, we've dialed all the way back. So there have been so many acquisitions and mergers, brands like Matches Fashions closing down because they cannot sustain the lack of purchasing that was taking place in 2020 versus now. We are barely shopping these days. Everything is going to necessity, gas, food, and household bills, because even that has quadrupled in some situations. And there's just so much strategy happening. I know a couple months ago I talked about how Farfetch was discussing a merger with a brand, and I think it did take place. Another brand that I was looking at, I think it was Matches Fashion, and they ended up they're closing. They still have sales going on. It's barely anything left, but everything is basically up to like 80% off on the website. And I still don't know to this day if they have paid any of their vendors that they owed, or even creators that I know that they've worked with. I don't know if they've gotten paid yet. Another thing that is changing, because of the slowdown of sales, the current economic landscape has led to inconsistent demands for luxury goods. Brands like LVMH and Kering have reported slower sales growth, and consumers are increasingly shifting towards lower price items in luxury resale markets. I have been shopping the resale markets more so than anything lately. This shift is partially driven by inflation affecting household budgets and a move to alternative revenue streams to maintain profitability. Now, this also just shows that because they have to figure out where to get the sales, they are now tapping into, it's not that they're tapping into, because they've always been into it, but influencer marketing and things of that nature, but they are doing it in a way where they're really depending on it and leaning on it. And some brands are doing it very well. You know, they're making contact with new creators and influencers to create really cool content around whatever they have to offer. But then there's brands that are really force feeding information or creativity to the person that they're hiring for influencer marketing. And it seems like an ad. It comes across like a harsh ad, and a lot of us are turned off by the initial first 3 seconds of the video or whatever content it is, right? So, you know, it's interesting to see how some brands have opened up their belts on their budgets when it comes to influencer marketing, and then other brands have really fastened their belt pretty tightly and try to have such a hard command over how the creator creates using their product. You know, I recently was approached by a brand asking me to do content within a 2-week period, and within that 2-week period I would receive the product, ingest it, try it out, see how it feels for me, but make a video about it. And for me, the type of product that it was, I would have to kind of settle with this product for a month to really understand if I liked it, if my body reacted well, if I enjoyed it, if there were any side effects, to then create a video authentically to my cookies and say, hey y'all, I tried this and it's bomb. Like, I need y'all to really tap in and try this out. I am not, you know, I know for certain, you know, everyone's out here trying to get a bag. So when a brand introduces themselves to a creator for the first time, and that's the approach that they have, I know there's so many creators that are just taking the bag and rolling with it and not really taking into consideration the trust that they need to have with their audience and saying, you know, this doesn't really work in how I do things naturally. Let's kind of slow this down and figure out something. You know, they're all rushing to get influencers to do work with them, and then it doesn't even feel natural or creative at all. But I do notice that a lot of brands are leaning more into creator connections because of the slowdown of sales. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it just seems like the war that's going on, you know, the situation happening in Gaza, recession, climate, there's so many things that are shifting the way that we spend time with luxury fashion at full price, and these brands are freaking out. And you know, I told you guys this before, if you've been following me for over a year now, you know, June, August, January are big sales months for luxury brands. You know, those are when they're about to turn over into a new season of new goods that need to hit the floor, and then they need to get rid of old inventory. That's when we see the sales now. We've been seeing sales go on all year round. They started doing sales in April, and I feel like I could be wrong, but I don't know. Does Zara go on sale in June like that? I feel like that's a little strange. It may have. I don't recall technically, but it's just there's so many sales going on, so many offerings. I saw a brand, Alice and Olivia, they did a 20% off at the end of last month. They did a 20% off last week, took it off, and then again, now they're doing 25% off for 4th of July. So it's just like, if there's a constant bargain happening because the brands really need to do something to keep afloat. Even brands like Mara Hoffman, legendary New York brand, you know, have a very specific design style. You know, it's a Mara Hoffman piece. Out of business. Can't sustain. End of an era. You see brands like Dries Van Noten. Dries Van Noten has left his brand. He is over the consumerism. He is over all the fast fashion. He is over all the brands clamoring on top of each other just to stand out, but using the same silhouettes and aesthetic to design. There's no creativity anymore. So many people have left their seats in high positions at these brands because it's either draining their souls and spirits and taking away from the reason why they're even in the job to begin with, or brands are trying to reallocate people and figure out, well, if we put this person in the creative director's seat, then they're going to get us commercialism, they're going to get us a lot more sales. At the end of the day, the essence is lost. So it's really interesting to see how they're responding and what's going to happen in the next 6 months. I wonder if there's going to be more store closures. I wonder if brands are going to do way more crazy sales. I wonder if we haven't really seen too many price increases in the last couple of months. Chanel always, because she likes to do that, doesn't she? I don't partake, but we're not seeing as many brands do price increases. In fact, we've actually saw YSL do a price decrease on some of their products. So that's pretty interesting. Another thing that took place, oh wait, I want to step back. Also, while luxury is going through their rigmarole, you got fast fashion fighting with each other between Shein, Temu, whatever, Amazon, TikTok Shop. The girlies are fighting tooth and nail to be at the forefront of whatever item they can sell fast. It's sickening. I saw a video the other day on TikTok. This boy was like, I bought this $20 camera. I used a $20 coupon for it, and I only spent $20 on it. But y'all were talking about how aesthetic these photos were going to be. And literally the photo that he got off of that camera was so shit. It was so shit. He was like, y'all are lying out here. The girls are lying to you. Now, personally, I've never delved into what it would look like for me to be a TikTok shop creator on TikTok. I will be leaning into TikTok a lot more this month just for my manager and our strategy is just to show up more on that platform as well, because my demographic is so wide. I never bought anything from TikTok Shop. I never really was interested in doing it. So it's like, I don't know anything about the quality, but I questioned it every time I saw someone talk about something from TikTok Shop. But it's like, even fast fashion is taking somewhat of a hit, but really they're just in deep competition with each other. They're making the money. They're all staying afloat. They're doing the things. They're cutting corners left and right, front and center. But it's getting to the point where it's overwhelming and people are logging off of the apps because of the amount of suggestions that they had. Last week, I opened up my Instagram. I updated it. I hate when I have to do that. And I saw no one that I knew. I only saw suggestions to follow, product, stories, all this stuff. And I had to go on the back end and make sure that I could only see people that I followed. Like, I unfollowed a whole bunch of hashtags that I didn't even realize I followed once upon a time. But we have to be very careful as consumers as to how much we are allowing these apps to show us about products that we don't want anything to do with or want to spend our money on right now. And we have to be super strategic when shopping these fashion luxury sales, because the time is now to be shopping if you don't want to buy things at full price, and especially if you really like the product that is out right now. I've been shopping a lot on resale. But anyway, the other thing I wanted to dig into, brands under investigation. Let me just read off this prompt. Court administration due to labor exploitations allegations. Dior, Italian subsidiary, manufacturers Dior SRL has been placed under court administration following an investigation that revealed labor exploitation. The court found that Dior had subcontracted work to companies that force workers to live and work in inhumane conditions, with some working illegally or without proper documentation. Like, some people are actually working around the clock, 24 hours. Lack of supplier oversight. The investigation highlighted Dior's failure to implement adequate measures to verify the working conditions and capabilities of their suppliers. This neglect allowed suppliers to exploit workers and operate without proper safety devices on machinery, leading to severe violations. Not only that, something came up talking about some of these brands spend $53 on a bag to make while they're charging you $3,000. When I say you, I'm talking about you. I'm not buying no damn bag that looked like it could have been $53 to make and spending three. I'm not buying no book tote. I'm not. The handles get dirty and nasty and fast. I feel like there's certain brands that I really feel loyal to when it comes to bags, and that would be Bottega and like Coach and Louis Vuitton, even though most of it is like canvas. But even they're like, you know what I'm saying? Oh my God, messy. Yes, I can believe it. It's not just Dior that's under investigations. It's a couple other ones, and not all of them were named. I think Armani was another one, which I'm like, really? Come on, House of Armani. What is going on? So, you know, not only is fast fashion the industry that is cutting corners, it seems like some of our beloved aspirational brands that we will save our coins up for are cutting corners as well. It's very disappointing. It's like desperate times for desperate measures. Girl, get a grip. Get a grip. So I hope everything comes out in the wash later on. Sometimes I don't like to talk about certain things in this manner when it comes to like fashion news, because like I want things to live out a little bit longer to get a lot more information, get the full story. But it's still at the beginning stages. Investigations take a really long time. But I think it's crazy that they had people living at a factory not putting on the safety precautions on these machines so they can work past their supposed schedules. That's crazy. And I can understand someone being so passionate about their job and creating these things that they would do those types of illegal, you know, I get it. Passion is passion, but like if they paying $53 for the bag from y'all, how much they paying y'all to make it? Isn't the $53 part of that labor? How much you getting a bag? 39 cents? And you working around the clock with the machines without a lock on it? I want people to just have better situations. Another thing that I was really excited over, Pharrell Williams' recent Louis Vuitton menswear show. Not gonna lie to you, I loved how he had all shades of models, like skin tone, in this show. I was like, is that... oh my Lord. Like, it looked like the stand at Fenty Beauty and all their foundation colors. Like, it just kept going on and on and on. It was like around the world type of thing. Let me just read these notes. Yeah, I was really into it. So he held his most recent show at in Paris, Maison de Uns. Yeah, I'm not going to pretend to even pronounce that, but it was June 19th, and the collection was titled Le Monde est au vous, the world is yours. Love that. This collection is a continuation of his exploration of global unity and cultural plurality. And I know his last show, using indigenous Native American people and how they presented that, it caught a lot of, get out of here, you gnat. It caught a lot of flack. And I understood why. And I'm going to keep it there. Now, because when I don't feel confident about talking about something, I'm not going to dive all the way in like I'm a know-it-all, okay? Just, I noticed that people had an issue with it. I did enjoy most of it. I understood why people didn't like it or had issues with it. And I was just hoping that whatever wrongdoings happened or things that were overlooked, that they would just do better next time around. It was like, I think his second show, right? First or second show. There were a lot of looks throughout the collection that looked like outfits of travel, like people who travel, people who work at the airport, who drive the trucks. It was very hard wearing looking clothes, like hard worker, or I'm gonna use the shit out of these clothes. Like people who really live in their clothes. It was a traveler's aesthetic. They had big old trunk cases on the runway too. I thought that was really cool to incorporate. I really enjoy the men's handbags way more than I enjoy the women's handbags at Louis Vuitton. Note. The show featured a vibrant mosaic of designs combining Louis Vuitton signature patterns with Afro-diasporic creative symbols. It aimed to celebrate diversity and global cohesion. The models showcased a range of Pharrell's vision for the collection and was to illustrate the similarities that bind people across the globe, reinforcing Louis Vuitton's legacy in travel and adventure, how they started. This event was soundtracked by the new composition from Pharrell, performed by a live orchestra and gospel choir. I do believe John, what's his name? We're just ordinary people. I can't remember his name right now. Adding the show's grandeur and emotional impact. I thought it was a beautiful show, beautiful layout. And also he looked to be like praising the team behind him, which, you know, whether it might not be true behind the scenes. I just thought it was really cool that he brought them out, like whoever was able to attend from the actual team that helped curate this entire collection with him, that he brought them out and, you know, praised them and bow to them. And I thought that was pretty cool, because at the end of the day, when you're a leader, you are of service to the team that you are leading. You are in a service position, not a boss position, service position. So I like that he showed that level of humility. But overall, you know, that's what's been going on top of mind, what I've been thinking about when it comes to fashion news and all the things. Other things that are, here's an update, personal update. Well, not personal update, content update. I am starting as of today a style challenge, 30-day challenge, where I am shopping my closet for 30 days straight and showcasing how I do that or what I pick out of my closet to wear. I have shopped a few sales, but everything that I'll be using this month are things from my closet. I will probably do a video about summer capsule wardrobing, that type of thing, but I just wanted to let y'all know, because I think most of the videos that I make for this challenge are a little bit too long for YouTube Shorts, but whatever ones I do have that are just 1 minute, I will upload on here. But if you want to follow the journey and kiki with me over there on Instagram and TikTok, I will be doing that challenge all month long, as well as other things too, like little mini vlogs and some other short form content that I created with Shamel and Tone Wolf, my newest addition to what I feel is a team. Photographer. He does stills. But he has such a creative eye as well. But anyway, I just want to let y'all know that is going to be happening over yonder. So definitely keep tabs if you're on those platforms. Follow me if you're not. It's the same name that I have over here. It's Carolyn Gray. And yeah, what are your thoughts on the things I discussed? How do you guys feel about the luxury fashion industry at this point? You know, how have you been going about shopping for whatever fashion needs you might have that have come up recently? I know some people, a lot of my followers are just like, girl, I haven't shopped. I haven't stopped shopping. What are you talking about? But I do know that other people are not having the same experience. So I'm just curious to know, what has been your experience over the last year or so when it comes to the climate of the world, weather-wise and politically and financially, when it comes to shopping fashion? How are you going about it, and how do you feel about everything that you're experiencing as a consumer? Comment below. Let's discuss. I'll see y'all in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, cookies.